What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Cosmic Carry here. Today, I'm going to be discussing capping, when to cap, when not to cap. And I know I've made these vids in the past. I think at least like two or three different occasions I've made YouTube vids on when to cap, when not to cap. And of course, this problem will never go away. But, and I don't think I'm beating a dead horse here. Because it needs, people need to be reminded. Possibly, maybe they won't come across my older vids. I'm sure there's other vids out there, and it's an ongoing problem, and it'll never go away. So you need to keep making vids about it, and you'll never fully eradicate it and get rid of it. Unnecessary caps. And what can you do? And you do your best, and you lead by example and all that stuff. So this is slightly older gameplay, but it's still relevant, to what we're talking about. And we're in the M48 pattern, and we're on. I can't ever remember the names on the maps, but unless it's like Prokhorovka or Mountain Pass. Highway, is this highway? I think this is highway, and as you can see, we're heading down the 1-2 line. And I'm going to be pushing upward towards the enemy base. I'm dibbing and dabbing here. I'm kind of getting a feel for the situation. Are there any campers up here? Are there any TDs? And I'm kind of progressing slowly. And as you can see, I noticed, there's nobody up here. They've all gone into town, which is a good thing. Automatically, for a player such as myself, in my experience, in my opinion, this is a good thing, because this means we can flank them from the rear, and they're gonna get flanked in the town, if we take over the town, and that way they're kind of surrounded, which gives us a win. Unfortunately, some people most probably think, oh, this is a straight shot to the base. This is a gateway for me to cap the base, and I don't think like that. That's not my style of thinking. I'll cap, absolutely, but only when it's needed. On occasion, there are different occasions, different instances where you need to cap and you don't need to cap, and it changes with each and every battle. That's why we play World of Tanks, because in each and every battle it's a different situation, and you're trying to read the situation. Trying to suss out the enemy, their strategies, their tactics, and all of this stuff, and you're trying to read them, basically. What are they up to? What are they doing? How good are they? How bad are they? And all of the above. And you're not there just to cap. Just because you have a straight shot to the base and you're able to cap doesn't mean you should cap. And especially when you outnumber the Reds, and especially when you know what it means when you stick on those boosters, and you're trying to get the best performance that you can, because you're using up those precious boosters that you've only got a handful left, and you're stacking those boosters on your daily double. So you're trying to get through maybe a terrible tank, or whatever the reason is. You got to have empathy. You got to think of others. You can't just think, oh, this game will be over with in a second if I just park my tank in the base, and that's that. It's that's just selfish. That's just horrible. That's just really low, in my personal opinion. And it's 100% not in the. Can I sniffle? It's not in the spirit of the game. What's up, doggo? Look at my doggo. I say look. He wants some lovin's. Sorry. He's right in my face. There is such a thing. A lot of people will put that out there. It's just a game. It's just a game. It's just. But there is another thing. The spirit of the game. This is not in the spirit of the game. Of course it's just a game. Of course it's just a game. But it's not snakes and ladders. It's not, noughts and crosses where who gives a toss, who cares at the end of the day. This is a lot of thought and time and effort has been put into weak points and armor and shell velocity. All of this. There's more to the game than simply capping a base, and that's about it. There's aiming on that tank. Aim properly, and don't auto aim, you bloody fool. And you must repent, you twit. But there's a right way and a wrong way to cap, and granted, it's totally up to you to read the situation. Go on. To read the situation and decide whether or not you need to cap. But lazy caps they're just that. They're lazy caps. They're unnecessary, and you shouldn't do them. So right now, as you can see, there is it's a defender and a T30 capping our base, and there's simply no need for it. They possibly might be looking at the map and thinking that our base is under threat. That's because there's a heavy down in the bottom attacking one of our heavies, and there's also a medium. There he goes. So possibly, maybe, but they might be saying to us themselves, well, our base is a sort of kind of under attack. That is true. But if you take a look at the numbers, it's 12 to 8. Why is there only one heavy fighting that in medium? Why is there the heavy fighting the heavy? But that's because we're down by 2 tanks. The 2 tanks, the T30 and the defender, should not be capping the base. They should be heading over and assisting in taking those guys out. The city was secure, 100%. The city was just about all done and dusted. There was just an E75 and I can't remember what the other tank is. Was it the T32? There's no need. There's just no need to cap. And keep in mind, when you do a lazy cap like that, you're taking away XP from your teammates. Your teammates, not just XP, but silver as well. Your teammates that have enabled you to get to that cap. So the people that have enabled you to get that win, which you have won by capping, you're screwing them out of XP in return, and you're screwing them out of silver in return. So where is the logic in that? How do you figure that out? Where is the common sense there? How have you arrived at that conclusion that, and we're assuming that they're fully aware of what's going on. I know a lot of people will say, well, maybe they just parked in a circle and they put the controller down and they've effed off and made themselves a cup of tea or gone to the toilet or whatever. Let's assume they haven't. Let's assume they're fully aware of what's going on. We can't see because there's no replay here. But let's assume that they're fully aware of what's going on. We've enabled these 2 guys, the T30 and the defender, to make their way to the base. The team, I'm having a fantastic game. I'm on 5k damage. I've shown them the way, basically. I've led them to the base, and perhaps it's my fault. And now in return for this win, I fully appreciate. I understand that they might be just really, really bad. It just boggles my mind. And in return, they're taking away my silver. They're taking away my XP, and not just from me, but from my teammates as well. In return for us enabling you to get to the base, and whatever. So anyhow, I'm really, really, really on fire. I'm really not on fire. I'm angry. I'm boring. Let's show some decent battles where I do cap, and I'll kind of explain the reasoning behind why I do cap. Okay, so T54 tier 10 matchup, and we're on Pearl River. We've just managed to secure this flank. We've annihilated everybody, and now we're moving on to pastures new, as they say. The thing is, on the opposing side, exactly the same thing has happened, and it happens quite often on Pearl River, where you get caught out by a sneaky cap, basically. And when the numbers are even, it's a legit move. It is kind of like a legit move, but as we're moving towards the enemy cap circle, I'm not thinking I'm gonna cap. I'll only cap if it's necessary, if it's needed. Right now I'm looking for tanks to shoot at. As you can see, there's Artie's up ahead, and I'm gonna miss every single shot on him. But as we move towards the enemy base, Artie's lighting us up, so the Reds know that we're approaching their base, so they jump on our base. So my compadre behind me, he jumps on the base, and I'm thinking free damage. I want to kill artillery, A, because it's Artie, and B, because it's free damage. He's fired, he's backing off, obviously he's on a reload, but the guy's signaling for help. And I'm about damage, I'm about playing world of tanks to kill tanks, but at the same time I'm not selfish. I'll sacrifice for my team, and that's exactly what I do. I pull back, I leave Artie be, and I jump on the base. And now there's 3 of us, and there's 20 seconds to go, and we got this. We're going to secure a win. We've dropped down in numbers, we're actually losing, so this is going to be like it's even a better reason to cap. So this is one of those instances where we're going to lose. We're going to lose because they were starting to cap our base, so we had to counter cap. And when all 3 of us jumped on, we just had 20 seconds, and we kind of grabbed victory from the jaws of defeat. Nice, I like that. And we managed to secure the base, and even though we were down in numbers severely. So that's a good example of when capping the base is legit. It's a legitimate move. It's the right thing to do, the proper thing to do. Absolutely, 100%. Now I'm in my 100. We're on an encounter. So there's only one base, and it's basically up for grabs. Either you kill the entirety of the enemy team, or you cap the base. So basically, if you're too far away from the base, then you're not going to have any kind of influence on what happens at the base. So with encounter, you need to get stuck in. There's no point in taking those long usual routes that you normally would take in a standard battle in encounter if it leads you too far a distance away from the base. You need to stick within the vicinity of the base, just in case you need to help out with resetting the cap or jumping on there, etc, etc. As you can see, I'm taking care of business. I've managed to secure just 2k damage, and that's it. So that's kind of a little bit pathetic in a E100. There we go, 2.5. But it is what it is. I'm in a slow lumbering tank, and I would prefer not to be where I am, but at the same time, I don't want to lose, absolutely. And it is what it is. So we're gonna take care of this IS-7 real quick. He's done and dusted. Object 704 in the background there. There's two pieces of artillery. The numbers are 7 to 7. And I decide to cap. I look at the map. I realize we're not going to have any influence on anything that's going to, transpire in other areas of the map. They're ganging up on the TD over there. He just got taken out. And now we're severely down in the numbers. So I'm going to cap. I'm only on 3k damage. But I say only. That's, it's not awful. Kind of lifting up my tank because I don't want Artie to get me two pieces of Artie. They're dropping shells down upon us. But there we go. We get the cap. And we're good to go. He takes me out, but it's far too late. Again, we snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. It was a good call. Everybody else got annihilated apart from the 3 tanks that were on the base, and we got the win. That was a good call to stay on the cap and to cap out. And in my final example, I mean my T-34-88, really decent tank, but doesn't really sort of kind of work on this map with these opponents. I need a kind of a decent sniping gun to have a decent game on this map, and that's what this tank basically doesn't have. You can see I'm up against quite a few platoons as well, so that was on my mind. Some TDs in platoons, etc, etc. So this flank below me is sort of kind of crumbling one by one, and once they're dead, then there's nobody to spot for me, because right now all I can do is provide support fire if I can hit anything with this gun, and because it doesn't have the best accuracy, so my support is limited, and we are down in the numbers. Up on a hill there's a kind of like a battle going on. Who's going to take the cap circle, who's going to take the hill. You can see there's some heavies and mediums and all this stuff, and our team, the 2 heavies, they're kind of putting in good work fending them off, and but the reds are kind of countering that, I'm guessing. You can see, so we just lost someone up there, as you can see, but I'm here because all I can do is support. There's nothing else that I can do. And I want to stay in the proximity, close to the base, so I can go up there and help out if I'm needed. But at the same time, the help that I can provide is kind of limited. I don't have the greatest sniping gun. I don't have gun depression. It's just and we're losing, we're 100% losing. But eventually my team up on the 2 heavies that are up on the hill, they will take out the opposing reds that are fighting against them, and I will go up there and try and help out. One of our team does get on the base, as you can see. Let me enlarge the screen 1 second. And yes, I can pen the 133. Yes, I can, and he needs to be penned. He needs to be dealt with. Once he kind of, if he confronts me, he's just gonna completely annihilate me. An E25 sitting in the bush, just gonna completely destroy me. So all that's left is myself and the two guys that are on the base. They initiate the cap. The only way we're going to win this is by cap. That's what my thinking was. I don't know the other two, but I decided, okay, we're going to come up here and I'm going to cap. And it's gonna, I'm not even going to poke out and attempt to, you know, get some sneaky shots on the reds. I'm going to park here and do like a safe cap, basically. I'm going to do my job, play my part, and try and win by cap, absolutely. T29 decides to jump off the cap. E25 confronts me. And luckily, with the support of the heavy behind me, I managed to take him out. There we go. Good to go. T29 is going for it. Possibly, maybe he kind of sensed, hey, we don't need to cap. And this is one of those caps where, should we have capped? Should we have not have capped? Like 2 minutes ago, I would have said yes. Now it's kind of doubtful. Should we? Shouldn't we? Me facing against 131. No bloody way. But this is one of those instances where you made a judgment call and you just went with it. You know, the T29 is kind of pulled back onto the cap. And but at least I was thinking about it. At least it wasn't simply I just did it and I want to win and I don't care what happens, who it bothers, who it upsets. You know, it's always on my mind. Should I be capping? Should I not be capping? Is this the right call? I don't want to hurt my team because of the cap, even though it is a victory, etc, etc. So yeah, something to think about, I think. Yes. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. There's something a little bit different. I haven't made one of these words in quite a while. Take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos.